Welcome everybody to Panfish Nation. Along with Mark, I'm Lyle. Mark, we got a great guest with us tonight. Trey Bolton's going to join us from his uh, show. It's damn, I lost my train of thought. I can't even remember the name of
Great
the show.
state of Tennessee. Fish smack.
Fish Pack. Been sitting here talking to him for 30 minutes and couldn't remember the name of the show. Trey, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, sir. How you doing?
Not too bad. We was just talking about some of your videos you've had come out. They're awesome and really enjoyed them. But you told me about one that you had come out this week that I have not seen yet, so I have to go back and check that out. I'm sure it's really great. So I'm anxious to go see it. Mark, what do you say we announce some of the people that's in chat to see?
A- Absolutely. I'd love to. I see Betty over there. Everybody keep Betty and Brandon in their prayers. Brandon's doing better from my understanding. But that doesn't mean we're going to quit sending them good thoughts
Right.
and prayers their way. Annette Morgan going on Annette. There's Brian B. Catfishing, Carmel Muncie, Catman Do Outdoors. How you doing? I see Dale Hayslip in the house. There's our buddy Don R. How you doing, Don? I hear he's got 40-degree temps up by him, Lyle.
Nice.
Eric Massey Jig Company. What's up, Eric? How you doing, bud? There's Irvin, the paid tourist. I wish I was a paid fishing tourist. Fishing for whiskers. There's my buddy Freddie. Freddie, we got to talk about getting me a 23.5 wood burning done, buddy. We're going to have it right here behind me. How big can I get it? Can I get it? We'll talk later, Freddie. Hillbilly Hippie, what's going on? JNS Outdoors, James Kirkpatrick, Joe Buck 66. There's the great Kim Burnett. How you doing, Kim? There's our buddy Lance McCoo guy. He was out at Mendota last week. It was great meeting you finally, Lance. Look lady in the house, Mike Irvin. How you doing, Mike? Northeast Missouri Angler. How are you? There's Lyle over at Panfish Nation. There's Troy at Real and Virtual Outdoors. Rod Knocker Fishing in the house. Ron Porter. I think that might be a new one, Lyle. If it is, welcome, Ron.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry?
Absolutely welcome.
Welcome. There's Ron. There's the Weekend Angler. What's up, Josh? There's Frank over at Twisted Fishing TV. Frank's been putting out some content on YouTube, so make sure you go check him out. I got to share his link out, too, on my community page. We'll get Frank going. He's a heck of an angler, and he makes some good content. To watch him catching some creek crappie, and we're going to do a little creek talking today. There's Travis Young. There's Uncle Jeep. How you doing? There's Matt Want to Be Outdoors. Whisker Dreams, Whiskers and Stripes. And there's my friend Real Gals Fish. How you doing, Stephanie? Let's see if I missed anybody. Brian B. Carmel Muncie in the house. Catman Do, I might have. There's Chucky Morgan, Dale Hayslip. There's Cindy Stokes. How you doing, Cindy? Let's see who else we got in here.
Richard.
Richard? Which Richard?
Richard of Fishing and Freedom and Danny Stone.
Danny Stone, what's up? Danny Stone and Richard. We met Richard this week. Can't wait to meet Danny.
Richard and Stephanie caught some great fish up there.
You know what's even better than that? The smiles on their faces, Lyle.
Well, that's true. I have to agree with that. Yeah.
They were so happy when fish make people that happy that it really, it hits you right here.
It does. Did you mention James Kirkpatrick's in chat?
James, what's going on, Mr. James? How you doing? There might be something going on with Mr. James Kirkpatrick and our brother number 10. I think he is falling down to in the upcoming future. So stay tuned to the Catfish and Crappie channel for that.
I bet Lisabella's not too far back. I hope not.
Hi, Lisabella.
Betty says, hello to everyone. Brandon is finally asleep. I'll be listening until I pass out too. Thank you for all the thoughts and prayers. Well, we're just glad that he got healed up quick and they got him taken care of and you was there to help him through all that. So I'm glad you guys made it home before that happened.
Brandon is definitely a fighter and he's in the best hands he could possibly be in.
I would agree with that.
What's up, Crappie Day? How you doing, bud?
But we had a great trip over the last week. For everybody that's interested, we talked a little bit about that on Monday night on two shows. There's fishing in Mid-South. We did have a wonderful time up there, met some people, and really we caught the hell out of fish. We really did. So it was a great time. But tonight we're going to talk with Trey about creek fishing. his dogs, his YouTube channel, how he got started, and all the fun that he has. And Trey, you have a blast out there wading them creeks, man.
Oh, it is. That's my getaway, man. I tell people it's even if you don't catch fish, just getting out in the creeks, just the stuff that you get to explore and see, man. It's fun. So
You had done a video that I comes back to me all the time. You done a video a year or so ago where you walked way down a creek and you found a bunch of stuff in the creek, uh, and walked back with some of it. I can't remember which one it was, but I was so intrigued that you was down there and this stuff just fell up. You found it, and one time you lost some stuff and went back and got it or
yeah,
left it there.
I lost
You
a
know,
GoPro. I dropped one of my
that's
GoPros
right.
out of my pocket last year in the creek. I knew roughly where. Well, I'll tell you what I did when I got home. I looked at my footage, and I was able to figure out roughly at what point of the creek I had dropped it. And then the next day, I knew there was some rain was probably going to come in, so I was like, I had to get out there before silt got washed over it. And I prayed and went out there and said, Lord, please let me find this thing. It's like I sure don't want to have to go buy another GoPro right now.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I walked right down the creek, and I'm telling you, walked straight to it, and I was like, that's you, Lord. Thank you. I appreciate you helping me find it. And
That's amazing right there. I have to address this for a second, not to interrupt you, Trey, but
go ahead.
Danny Stone says has got a bucket full of moon eye. Man after my own heart right there. That's as good a bait as there is anywhere.
I'm dying to
it.
try it someday. I've never even seen a moon eye in real
Man,
life.
they're awesome bait for catfish.
I hear they're stinky, Lyle.
They're not as stinky as shad or
Okay.
or skipjack as far as I'm concerned.
Do you cast net them?
I do if I can, yeah. Or you catch them on crickets too.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that use crickets for them, or at least I've seen videos of them catching them on crickets.
Okay. I've seen them here. I've seen them in the Cumberland, but I saw them jumping one night, but I've never caught any.
Yep, they're great bait. I see Terador Arco's in here, and Dan Thompson's joined us. So, but yeah, you guys, that walk in the creeks, I wish that I'd have done some of that when I was younger because that looks like way too much fun. At my age now, I don't want to fall down and stumble around. And, there's so much crap in them creeks anymore with people throwing bottles and different things in them. I don't want to take a chance on getting whacked up and stuff. But man, you guys that do that have so much fun, and you get to see stuff that I can't get to in a boat.
Yeah,
I just can't.
Yeah, I still have to be careful at my age. You know, I'm so it's. I mean, slip and fall will take you out, but I will say I am super picky on the streams that I go in. It's one thing with my filming. I don't want to show any type of trash. So I know that's another reason I'm always picking up trash and stuff. Right. This year, I was figuring up the other day, I've had close to 6 trips where I've taken out 6 30-gallon trash bags full of trash just on those trips. And then I take trash every time. So I know one of the streams I love to fish. It's such a picturesque creek. But this last season, I don't know if it was something from DOT or something, but some type of like 2mm plastic got washed down the creek, like say 100-yard sheet. And it was just riddled on the trees and stuff. And I think I've cleaned up close to probably about 4/10, maybe close to half a mile of it so far this season, just because I can't stand that trash in my shots. So it's like, I just go out there and pick up some every time I go out. So
we appreciate the fact that you do that, but I have a question about that.
Yes, sir.
I know a lot of that washes down the streams. A lot of it does. But how much of it do you think is just stuff that people throw out, other people walk up and down them streams?
If it's a public access spot, I can tell when it's someone set a lawn chair up and just had all their stuff out. And I see that regularly. I've got a creek here locally that I've kind of almost had to quit fishing because I have limited time to fish. I really get to fish once a week, maybe twice. So content for me is I have to make a Saturday count. I've got to be able to get out, get that footage, because then I've got to somehow work it in the rest of the week to get that upload done. But so one of the local creeks here, it's a pull-off spot, and in 4 weeks' time, I had to pick it up 8 times. And it's not, and some of the time, like I said, that's one of the places I filled up, I think, 2 30-gallon trash bags. And I can tell, I know because I'll go clean it up and I'll come back 4 or 5 days later and it'll be a full case of beer, all the earthworm containers, the hooks, the lead, and they just leave it right there. So I know it's not being washed down in there. And but you do have like the plastic that I've been cleaning up in this one creek. Now that's definitely was washed. So
Right.
It's a mix. I can kind of distinguish. I've picked up so much of it, I can tell when it's flooded in or if it's something that people just packed in. But another thing I've noticed this season, one of the creeks I have to keep picking up behind the kayakers. The kayakers are coming out at like a start point. And it's always their ice bags and all their beer containers where they've emptied their stuff. There's no other stuff. And it's just, they just throw it right there and then get in the kayak. And I'm just like, why do they do this? I'm just,
Yeah.
it's just
Come on, guys.
crazy.
You're better than that. Really.
It's just trashy. But anyway, I like I said, I'm almost OCD on it to where I can't leave it. And it's just like, I feel like I owe it to do whatever I can do to try. I've actually wanted to try to start. I talked to one of our park rangers here a couple of weeks ago, and I was trying to ask him if there was something maybe we could collaborate with TWRA to try to do some type of awareness or something. It just can't be just a bunch of us go and pick up stuff. It's almost got to be something to where, it's got to be more than just awareness, because it's just you've got to stop the offenders, because it's kind of getting to the point to where I can't keep up. I can't keep picking up the stuff as fast as they keep leaving it.
I would offer you that Sarah used to do a show where they had a challenge of who could pick up the most trash for a period of time, and now Abbott has taken that over.
I knew Abbott did.
He's doing that challenge for people to pick up trash and stuff. It's a very worthwhile thing. James Smith and I talked about that for nearly a year. And we talked to Abbott about it, and he decided he wanted to do that. And he's not having the people interest in it that Sarah did. So people need to step up and join that deal. And it's not about winning. It's about cleaning up your areas that you fish, because the other people in your area, they're not going to do it. So somebody has to step up.
You have to. That's what I'm saying. This one creek, well, like I said, where all that plastic got washed in, I've been watching it. I know there's a lot of people that go out there that I know personally fish, and I haven't seen the first person take the initiative to pick it up. I'm like, I guess I'm going to be the only one that's going to do it, because I hear people say they're going to pick it up, but
they don't.
I go out there and it's still there. So I'm like, well.
That's exactly right. Now, I would like to go back, Mark, to one you had two ago. This one here. For those of you that's not checked out this gentleman's videos, please go check him out. He catches a lot of crappie and panfish and stuff. I've been watching them here lately and enjoying them very much. Whenever I see something like that, we try to tell people about it, because Local Life Outdoors has some really good videos out there, like Trey's, and I enjoy them. And those are the kind of people that we need to help promote in our sport and in our YouTube things, because they're worth the watch and they need new viewership. So check them out. And
I just subscribed and I just shared his link out, Lyle.
There you go. Thank you. But good stuff. And Avid said, Trey, contact him if you're if you're interested in working with him for that. That's a worthwhile deal to keeping these things. And, Cindy and I pick up trash sometimes when we're at boat ramps and stuff. Are the boat ramps that we go to, they're very populated with lots and lots of people, and they'll pull their boat out of the water, and stuff will fly out of them. When we stop and pick it up, they just keep trucking.
I know.
I'm thinking, what is wrong with you?
I know. I will say the one, and I always felt like I don't know if it's the Lord blessing me or what it is. I have found so much fishing tackle by picking the trash up. I'm not kidding.
I hear you.
I have found
reward.
I found the one fishing backpack that I still haven't found the owner for.
Wow.
Hundreds of dollars in that. I figured out the other day, I found close to 16 packs of soft plastics. a whopper
Wow.
popper in the bag, a fishing net, 2 sets of fishing pliers, 3 Plano boxes filled with rooster tails, hooks, you name it. I mean, I've got a collection out in my garage. I'm going to start putting some of it together and start doing maybe a giveaway.
Heck yeah.
And clean it up, refurbish, put fresh hooks and split braid.
Maybe use it as a prize of some sorts to inspire people to clean up their surroundings when they're
There
out.
you go.
Yeah, I did that video this winter where I before the foliage comes out too, I'll go out and I'll clean up all the crankbaits and everything that's all in the trees and mess when you can see it good. And man, I went out one day and I come home with probably $80 worth of stuff easily, just for a couple hours worth of work and cleaning it up. And
sounds like a great video to me.
Yeah. So
I'll tell you, I used to go to Colorado elk hunting, deer hunting. And my brother was out there the only year he was able to go, and a friend of mine was out there, and they was walking. We was going back to the trailhead for some reason. They walked past a bag. They was walking. I was riding a horse. I ain't walking. And I said, well, if you guys are not going to pick that up and see what's in that, I will. And in that was snake chappings that you put on your legs and fishing lures and this and that for a guy that was fly fishing up there in the mountain streams, and a pair of Swarovski binoculars that at the time was over $800.
Wow.
And I laid the bag in Jack's window of his truck in the front windshield with a sign on it says, claim what's in this bag and it's yours.
Uh-huh.
And left it at the trailhead the whole week we was there, week and a half, and nobody claimed it, and I brought it home with me.
That's it, yeah.
And I still got them today. They're still the best binoculars I've ever owned in my entire life.
My brother knows I pick up stuff, and here recently he lives in Charleston, and he had found a box that was on a creek bank, and he was like, "What is this?" And so he starts digging it out, and he's like, "I got to get this home." And it was nailed up or something. He couldn't get the box open, so he rushed home. He thought he had some pirate booty, and he got home and opened it up, and it was the cremated remains of somebody.
Oh my
granddad out in the ditch, and
wow.
My poor brother, he thought he found him some gold.
The last box that I opened up that had fire ants in it.
Did you get bit, Lyle?
Yes, I did.
Ouch.
Oh man. So Trey, why don't you tell everybody where you're located at and what some of the waterways that you fish?
Okay, yeah, I'm located about 35 minutes outside of Nashville. Most of my local creeks around the area, I don't fish. I travel pretty good distance, both northern Tennessee, up on the plateau. I go out east Tennessee. I don't do much I don't do any on West Tennessee, but kind of, once again, the reason we're talking about the trash and stuff, I like getting out to those streams that just don't have the foot traffic, and I don't mind putting in the miles, hiking in to get to them. And the fishing is just so much better too when you get away from those local spots. That's to me is the payoff. If you want to put the effort into getting deeper back in there, the fishing is way more, just a lot the quality's there. So,
Trey, I have a nephew that lives just outside of Nashville in Lebanon.
That's where I live.
He lives
I'm in Lebanon.
He actually lives right around Lebanon. I think his son lives in Lebanon. He lives in a little town just this side of there. And we've stayed out there with Michael a couple of times. The next time I come out that way,
you're in my area.
I'm going to be calling you. We're going to get together. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's where I'm at. I'm in Lebanon. So
yeah, that's a beautiful area down there. Michael used to lay carpet. He laid carpet in some of the big stars places, Lori Morgan's and some of them guys. Yeah. He told me stories about it. But anybody's ever done that kind of work, they know how hard it is on your body. And now he works for a school, and he still does a lot, I think, on the side, but not like
I did construction through college, so I know.
Yeah, stop you guys right there. Are we going to see Lyle Stokes bass fishing on video? Because that I got to see.
You know what? If I could go with Trey, I'd probably take a bass rod and go out there. I'd probably take a channel cat rod and go bass fishing.
You probably have a good time, to be honest with you. Those small
I think so. Yeah, he's
Hanging
going to
with
have to
Trey,
make it easy walking though.
who wouldn't like hanging out with Trey? That'd be a good time for
I
sure.
think so too. But yeah, I would love to do that. I think it'd just be awesome.
Oh yeah. If you're in town, you got to let me know. So
No, I for sure will. Mark, what questions is there any in chat for Trey tonight? If you guys got questions, you need to get them out here.
Give me a little preview of some of the videos. I'm sorry to say I need to get caught up on your channel. I've just been busy with the stuff and the shows.
The last one, so my last, I've kind of telling Lyle when we were kind of waiting to come on, it's like I've kind of been trying to, I can't really just do a creek fishing video, something like John Creek Fishing Adventure does. I just don't get the viewership on that. Some people may enjoy it, but it just goes nowhere. So I've kind of really tried to focus on more challenges or kind of like mini series. So I know Reese Life, Dad Life here a couple weeks ago did the RLDL Booyah Challenge where we had to go out with one spinner bait, and there were 5 other channels plus Mike and Reese. And we had 1 week to fish, and it was the biggest 3 bass, largemouth and smallmouth, that would count towards it. And then so basically we just had all this content going between 6 channels. So that was fun and made it for, I thought, pretty good entertainment because, you know, you're getting to see the challenge in between who's in first or who's whatever. So then recently I just got finished up with the traveling tackle bag video. That's a 2-part series. Larry with Show Me Creeks started this. So he took a travel bag and put in 3 Plano boxes and a couple of his favorite lures into that box. And then he shipped it off to Greg with Puddle Walkers. And then so basically Greg gets it and he fishes with what Larry put in there. He adds into it. He goes out, has a burger, and does a reveal, and then passes it on to the next person. So that's kind of where it started right now. I was the 5th chapter on it. So it was Bobby with Straight to the Point did it. Then Chris Bogley with Bogley's Keeping It Real got it, and I got it from him. But that was fun. That was actually the video where I had contacted John with Creek Fishing Adventures and asked him. It wasn't that I was trying to fish with him. I just said, hey, John, would you be interested if once I finish the video, I would like to ship you the bag because you've got, you know, a good following, and it would give Larry, you know, it would put some precedent on the bag so that more people would actually start following the journey of this bag. And so he actually emailed me back and says, hey, we've been, you know, I've wanted to fish with you. And so let's just do a video together. So he was very nice enough to invite me, and I got to go up with him and go out and fish with him and did that. So, but that's the one I finished up. And then the next one, I think I saw where Mike with same Reese Life, Dad Life put out another challenge this week. It's a Lego challenge. If you can take a bait, make any type of bait you want out of a Lego, and then they've caught like I think 11 3/4 inch bass, and they've got a little giveaway they're going to do. But I think I'm going to do that just for fun because I kind of thought I'm going to see if I can't rig up some type of whopper plopper Lego frog.
There you go.
And then kind of show the, you know, construction of it and doing that part, and then going out and trying to actually land a fish and see who actually wins the challenge. So that's kind of where I'm kind of focusing on some of my videos. Like I said, YouTube's a tough business, and you're just trying to figure out some content that's a little bit different that tries to separate yourself. And of course, with me, I try to sprinkle in what little bit of humor I can, you know.
You do a good job at it too. It's always
and you got a couple of fine companions with you.
Oh, my Nash and Red. They got to go in. But, you know, I've been having to try to find some new areas. Some of my areas have gotten really overrun this season. And so I've been trying to find new areas. And when I start going out into these areas, I'm going out in areas. For whatever reason, this season I'm seeing a lot more venomous snakes. I've run into cottonmouths and copperheads a lot this season. I haven't run into any rattlesnakes. But I have to really be careful with them because they're so prey-driven that they'll chase one down. If they see it before I do, I'm afraid they would get bit. So So yeah, they hadn't been able to go with me as much as I would as like for them to this season, just for that reason, because I'm kind of trying to find some new areas. So,
Well,
Are you
maybe
good at identifying the snakes?
huh?
Are you good at identifying venomous
Yes,
snakes?
sir. Yeah, oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, Tennessee's only got 3. We've got diamondback rattlesnakes, copperheads, and blunt tail cottonmouth. That's the only 3 venomous ones we have.
I don't want to cross paths with any of those.
as far as I'm concerned, they are all venomous.
Yeah, oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people will see like the common water snake and think it's a cottonmouth, but yeah, I'm good at identifying them. So
That helps.
It does. I just don't want to be around them. None.
I'm not scared of them, but in my when I was out with John, I almost stepped on. I got within striking distance. There were 2
Yeah,
big cottonmouths.
that's the scary part is not knowing they're there. That's the
That's
part.
it. And when they took off, and then like I said, the rest of the day, anything, if it was a stick that brushed on my leg, I was jumping, and it made me jumpy all day. Even though I'm not scared of them, if I felt something touch me, it spooked me. So
It's a respect thing, I think.
yeah, oh yeah, I definitely don't want to get bit by one. So.
We are in the outdoors, everybody. You got to respect your surroundings.
That's right.
You're worried about falling out of a boat or sliding down a steep bank or on some shale rock stone or limestone or something that's got sharp edges to animals and stuff. Be careful out there.
Yeah.
We've had a couple run-ins with raccoons, believe it or not. These city raccoons are pretty aggressive. They're not afraid of people. They'll come after you for your bait buckets.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
As we got it. We got some water snakes, but nothing venomous.
We
We got those brown recluse spiders here quite a bit though.
Yeah.
I don't like them either.
I was in a creek. One of the days I had taken off a Monday and I thought for sure I wouldn't run into anybody. So I had the dogs out there and off the leash. And don't walk up on me if they're off the leash, because they will protect me. And I was in some deep weeds and I couldn't see the guy coming, and I don't know why I didn't hear him, but man, all of a sudden I see their ears go up and they took out after him. Luckily, I got him to stop. I had to yell at him, but he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." I'm like, "No, I apologize." Just like they're doing their job. I mean, that's my security detail. They're gonna let me know if someone's coming up on me. So
That's awesome.
That's what they're supposed to do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Matt with Wannabe Outdoors would like to know what editing platform you use, Trey.
good question. I use Final Cut Pro. It's an Apple product. When I first started kind of looking at doing the YouTube stuff, I went through, I kind of had never done any of it. So I had to kind of research to see what was kind of the better option to go with. There's some free options out there, but there's also a lot of paid options that are monthly subscriptions. And the Final Cut Pro was the one. It was just a one flat fee. I think it was like $300 for a one-time lifetime license on it.
Yep. Yeah, I don't want no part of that boat snake in the boat with me. Yeah, no way, Jose.
Local Life Outdoors is talking about that right now. He says, I've had snakes fall in the boat while fishing at night. It'll make you almost beat the bottom of the boat. And then we got our friend Danny Stone talking about he likes the taste of a snake.
Yeah, watch it. Those moccasins, they'll come up in your boat. I was out one time. It was me and a girl. We were kayaking, and I seen one coming across the water. I'm like, he is coming straight at the boat. She's up on the front of the boat, like, in or out, where I go. I was like, and he did. He popped his head up coming into the boat, and luckily I smacked him with one of the oars and got him out of there. But,
yeah, I don't want no part of them.
No.
But I don't like spiders either, so that doesn't really matter.
So tell us a little bit about your weapons of choice when it comes to catching fish. What kind of gear are you using? What's your favorite stuff?
Ultralight. I really like skinnying down the stuff. That makes the creek fishing so much more fun. I like to use. I tell you what. Tony McBroom had just recently. Man, we got some good. Our community's so awesome. But I'm getting ready to do a video on this. He gave me this Fluger Presidential. Is it a Presidente?
Presidential. Yeah, those are good reels.
He gave me this one, and I've got to get this one. He also gave me one Luz. I've never used a Luz before, but these are a lot smaller. He's kind of had got them, but didn't really like the size on them. But these little small 1000s and 500s, I love these things. It's just they're so light. And then on the creek poles, I use I don't go anything super duper crazy expensive. I've got a little 4'6" ugly stick. You cannot break those things, and you can get some big fish in. But like I said, even that's generally what I use for my catfishing rod. My PB flathead that's 40 pounds, I got it on a medium ugly stick with no problem. So, and then I've got a couple other Fenwicks. I like Fenwicks, that's probably my favorite rod. Just there, you can't get those right now. But anything between a 4.6 and a 5.6 on a light or an ultralight is what I like. And then line, I've been using 6-pound mono, but this past Saturday, I went out and I lost 3 smallmouth this weekend. They fought harder than anything I've ever caught, and I've caught my PB in a creek is 20 inches, and
The magic number right there.
It had to have been over. I mean, it hit so hard, and I literally could not move the fish. And so I put 10-pound braid on this one, so I can feel a little more, and I'm going to run a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just for me, I've got such an affinity for the smallmouths. I cannot stand breaking gear off in their mouth. I mean, it still bothers me to know they've got. Luckily, it was small circle hooks that I was using, but I still hate leaving.
Well, they'll shake them hooks. Don't be too worried about it. It's good to be careful and stuff. But I've got hooked bluegills that I use for bait, and they spit those Aberdeen hooks out. I find them in the bottom of my bait tank all the time.
Wow. I wonder how they get those
No
out.
clue, but they do it. I'm amazed every time I find them in my bait tank. I have no idea.
You know what they say about that braid, don't you?
What?
Once you start, you can't go back.
Really? Uh-oh.
Learn how to tie a good Albright knot, you'll be a happy man. That's all you got to do is tie on that floral, and you'll be a good.
I use a double uni. Have you ever done the double uni?
The Albright's quick, fast, easy, and it travels between your eyes a lot better
Than the double uni?
Than the double uni, absolutely, or the broad one.
I'll have to check it out.
But if you're tying braid, floral, or mono, that's my knot of choice. And Eric B over at I forget what Eric's Trophy Guide Service. He's a buddy of mine. He showed me that knot, and I haven't turned back. And just to prove it, here we got some 10-pound. Look at this, Lyle Sufix 832.
Best line on the market, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I'll have to and tell me it's Albright.
Albright, easy knot to tie, easy one to tie.
Okay, I've gotten quick on the uni, but I do agree with you. It does want to catch going through my eyes. So.
Got a hook set from Local Life Outdoors, Trey. There's another one.
Appreciate it. Thank you so
Evan
much.
says, "Wow, what braid do you use from Walmart?" I do not use braid from Walmart. I get mine from a tackle shop, and it is Sufix 832. I use it on my panfish rods. I use it on my catfish rods. The only thing that monofilament gets used for around my house is leader material. Other than that, I ain't got no time for it.
Got it.
I see no reason to have line that stretches. That's what your tip on your rod, your action on your rod's for, and a drag on your reel.
Got it. And making probably the reaction will be quicker filling that strike. I know it's one that probably help a lot too in the winter if you got those real subtle bites. So there's a lot I've been trying to learn. I was when we was with John, I was kind of telling him one of my goals this year. I really haven't done much. I haven't got to do much catfishing at all this season. I've just really been so focused on smallmouth creek fishing. But I was talking to one of our TWRA agents, and this is one thing, kind of another video. It could be a series I'm looking at going into, but I was talking to him. Do the smallies stay in creeks through the winter? And he was telling me that they had recently done a real good study where they had tagged a lot of smallmouth and could tell where they were moving. He said the farthest any one of them had moved was about 25 miles.
Wow.
With Tennessee, though, since our creeks don't freeze over, he said they will stay in the creeks. He says, but what was funny, he goes, what they watched them year over year in this study, and the smallmouth would go back to one exact location year after year, pinpoint, whatever it was.
It's like the same pool, right? Is what you're talking about they'd go to?
What is it?
They would end up in the same pool year after year?
Yeah, they would always go back to the same spot. And he said, if you can find find that in the winter. That's where they're going. He said, you'll find more. He's like, it's because it's whatever it is that's in that location. It's ideal for them during winter, and that's why they'll keep traveling back. So I wanted to really see if I could put 12 months in a creek and consistently try to catch fish. So
I had no idea that bass done that much movement.
That's a
That's
long
the
way for a
farthest.
little fish to go, I was thinking, you know?
what is it?
You know,
That's a long way for a little fish like that to go.
Oh
in.
yeah, yeah.
Like 20-inch fish is a big smallmouth, but compared to like a 40-inch, blue or something.
yeah, blues are known for traveling.
You know
hundreds of
something I
miles.
saw a couple of weeks ago, and it baffled me. I've never seen this. I was at an area where it was a runoff over a road, and the current was ridiculous. I had to be careful not get swept walking across it. I saw a smallmouth come up like a trout over on top of that and ran up that current.
It is something makes them go that way, and nothing will stop them. I mean, think all the shallow spots they got to get through to travel in some of those creeks.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
yeah. It baffles me. I mean, like how far they can get up in the creeks. So
I got a message through Messenger that from James Dockery says, have Trey look for a stream team. They are all about cleaning up streams and rivers. I've not heard of that, but it's
Okay.
called Stream Team. Maybe there's a local in your area too.
Okay.
That just come in through Messenger.
Nice. Thank you, James. I appreciate that.
So tell us a little bit about these creeks that you're fishing in. Are there real deep holes? Are they super shallow? How long do some of them stretch? Do they spider web out everywhere? I mean, is it endless for you to fish there? Or?
There's I do fish some longer creeks. Some there. I mean, I've got several that I fish that are over 50-mile creeks. What's funny is this year I've done a little bit of. I don't really get in the deeper pockets. Some of these creeks do have, deeper spots in them to where, I'm generally, when I'm in a creek, I'm limited to with my camera gear, I can't get my backpack underwater. So I'm stuck really about 4 or 5 foot really is the max I'm trying to really kind of wade through. But I look for a lot of shoreline. I want a lot of gravel beds and stuff. And that's another thing too. I kind of power fish an area. So I'll walk in, I'll get to a hole, I'll fish it, 10 or 15 casts and that's it. And then I'm to the next spot and I'll fish it when I come back later that afternoon. But so I look for long stretches. So like some of my stretches I may walk that are 3 or 4 miles at most, but I might have, let's say 15 fishing holes in each one of those spots. So, but they'll range, I'll have some areas where I might have like a 4 foot deep pocket, but it's something I've started learning this season though, too, is I was talking to a guy I run into the other day trying to get out of a creek and I had to cut, I waved him down to ask if I could cut through his property and we got to talking and he was asking about the smallmouth. The smallies, they'll go up in the shallows and that heavy current a lot of times and they're going into feeding mode. It seems like a lot of the ones that I'm finding out in the deeper sections, you will get big fish out there, but I think they're more transitory. They're moving in between their feeding areas. Mm-hmm. I seem to catch, really when it starts warming up too, those fish are going up in that 2 foot choke points where the creeks are narrowing down and that gravel, maybe it's a deep spot that, runs up into a shallow. But that's what I look for. I just kind of look for those and really anything that's got a, couple pockets that are 4 foot deep here and there. I'll just look for those. But yeah, I don't generally fish. There's one creek that I've been fishing with one guy here locally. I've started, and he really likes to fish the deeper water. I've done good. I've caught some really big. I've really caught more over 16 this year at this point than I did all of last year for whatever reason. I don't know what the difference is. But when I go fish those areas, it's generally I'll catch a few really quality fish, but just no quantity. So that's why I'm almost thinking those deeper pockets are just where, like I said, it's just transitory fish that are just sitting in it or not in real active feeding mode. So, but
if they're feeding, are you finding them sitting on the seams in the streams?
I do, yeah. So this week, one of those big ones I lost this weekend. It was a pocket to where the creek had a really good flow, and there was a cutout in the bank, and it was creating a real nice eddy in there, and it had a real good seam right there. So I was tossing back over into that eddy in behind that seam, and that's exactly where he was setting. So yeah, they definitely will set up in behind those seams. I think a lot of times, like I said, because they're just watching that bait fish coming through in that faster current. They're not having to fight that current, and they can just swim out real quick and dart out into that current and feed and get back into that slower moving water.
Travis asks, in these creeks, is it just panfish, brim, bass, trout type fish? Or are you finding anything else?
There are definitely panfish in there for sure. I mean, your warmouth, your pumpkin seed, your brim, bluegill, all that's in there. There's one stream that I've been fishing this year. It will get trout in the winter, but not during the summer months because a lot of those streams get too warm. Since I'm targeting the smallies, I stay away from the really cold streams. Like we've got some here, like I just don't the Caney Fork. That's one. It's real heavily traveled with kayaks and stuff, but it stays 55, 58 during the year, and I just don't do as good in those areas that I do in the creeks. So, but I will say this season I have started upping the size of the gear that I'm using. I used to fish a lot smaller gear, but I've kind of upped my size, and a lot of that is really starting to weed out a lot of the smaller panfish. Now, I will catch the rock bass. Of course, they've got a good mouth on them, so they always surprise me at what they can catch or what they can, get in their mouth. But yeah, there definitely are panfish in all these areas, like I said. So, but I'm just, for whatever reason, I'm getting real specific on what I'm targeting now, and I'm weeding out anything that I'm not fishing for.
Tacklebox Mike asks, is there any issue with beavers building dams on the creeks?
It's funny. I almost brought it in with me. I found a beaver skull in perfect condition this weekend. I actually brought it home. I know TWRA has been sending out people to eliminate a lot of the beavers out of our lakes. They act like they're creating issues, but I mean, there was one in our local lake that, I knew it was a good crappie spot because the crappie were around the outside of the beaver dam, but it was small. It wasn't even, it was really, really tiny. And the beavers really weren't adding to it that much. And, but they come in and trap one of them because I found it dead. But in the creeks, I never really see any dammed up. One of the local creeks here that I've got, there's a small one. I got a crazy story I could tell you, but yeah, I don't really ever see them to where they're just totally blocking the creeks up. So where I'm at least.
Mark, do you have the giveaway tool pulled up tonight?
I can here in a second. It shouldn't be a problem.
That'd be awesome. Trey, I have a question that I would like to know is on an average, and how far do you walk in from the time you leave your truck till you get to the point where you're going to go?
I would say like the farthest point that I go in, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Probably the farthest point that I probably will go in will be about 4 miles, I think. Some of them I've mapped out. That's about the absolute farthest I'll go in. This past weekend, I started. I'm on a mission this year to find some new spots. Like I said, because some of my areas are starting to get a little bit too much foot traffic for my liking. So I'm trying to find some areas that really don't have good pull-off access that people aren't going to hike in a couple miles to get to. But so some of those, like I know this one I walked this weekend, it was a new stretch. I think I probably walked in a couple miles. But the current was so strong that walking back, and I'm not going to get out on the bank. In Tennessee, it actually is. If it's non-navigable water, it's still considered trespassing if you're in the water.
Really?
So it is. Yeah, it has to be. Yeah, and it has to be a large vessel like a barge. It can't just be a kayak. So it's just according to whether the land owners will push it, but for me, I never want to get up on their banks. So I always feel if I stay in the creeks, I'm good. But one of those spots, like I said, I think I walked in a couple miles and the current was so severe trying to get back through. And I was like, it's going to take me forever. And I spotted one guy and waved him down and he let me cut through his property so I can get out to a main road. And I just walked back. But I'd say about 4 miles is the most I'll go in. Because like I said, then you're talking an 8-mile trek for the entire day. And that's me carrying my backpack and
Right.
all the stuff. And especially if Nash and Red, then I'm having to pack in water for them as well. So
Now, if you're going 4 miles, is there another place that you could put in 4 miles down from where you was at, or
sir.
you
No.
can only, so that's just that one spot, that one area. That's as far as it's going to be.
One area, like one of those areas that I walk, that specific area that I walk in 4 miles, it actually goes into a gorge. So once I'm getting further in there, it's a bluff on either side of me. You can't get out of there. So other than if you keep going, but then, like I said, you're getting into private land. That's where a lot of these areas I'm looking at. That I want the creeks. If I'm looking at like maps and stuff, I want the creeks to get away from roads. So if I can find like where a creek just totally stays away from a road, and to me that's where I want to go because I can hike, in that point knowing that I'm not going to cross paths with anybody back there unless it's a landowner.
Yeah, that's for sure.
You ever use an app like Onyx to figure out who the landowners are and stuff?
I'm in the mortgage industry, so I can.
You have access to all that same information.
Yeah, I can figure all these people out. So yeah, you can't hide.
What are we giving away, Lyle, so I can set this up, buddy?
I have some jigs from ZFG to give away tonight, and we have a guy that Dennis Lawrence had told us about, and he sent me a package of stuff called Thumper Jigs, and he sent me a really nice note, Mark, and I'll read the note. It says, "This is a small sample of the jigs that we make. All of our jigs are made with the quality and durability and fishability. I think the quality shines through in all of our products. Thanks, Van and Pam, Thumper Jigs." So we'll give away some.
Cool. Can I give you a solo screen so you can show those to me? Because I want to see them.
Well, these are the ZFG jigs.
The ZFG jigs. There we go, people. There you go. Enter hashtag ZFG.
And then the Thumper jigs. You're going to like these, Mark.
Oh, yeah. Those are nice, too.
Yeah. And there's 3 in this package. I didn't go through and see if there was 3 in every package or how many. I didn't count them. And if you decide that you would rather have some of mine, all you got to do is say so, and I will trade them out for these, and we'll give these away at another time. Either way, it doesn't make any difference. But these guys are nice enough to send this to us to give away to our viewers, and we're going to do just that.
Hey, Lyle, I don't know if you caught this, but Frank over at Twisted Fishing TV was catching all sorts of crappie on your jigs.
I seen that. That was awesome.
It's something to be proud of. So it's another reason to check it out. So
hey, there's Dennis in chat.
What's going on, Dennis?
There is in the Tide Jig Packs. But yeah, these things from Thumper, they look really nice, really shiny. They almost remind me of skipjack jigs. They're that shiny. They use a lot of shiny stuff in them. But the ones from ZFG, they have lots of feathers in them and chenille and gold and green heads on them. They're really cool too. So we're going to give those away.
I hear those are made with love, Lyle.
I think they are. When you receive them, you'll probably understand where they come from when you read the package. But it's nice that we got them to give away, and we're going to do that. That's what they wanted to do with them, and hey, we're good with it. What kind of tackle do you mainly use, Trey?
It's really a mix. I've been really this year trying to push myself into different, tackle that I normally didn't use. You kind of fall into those comfort zones where I fish a lot of soft plastics, whether it's Helgramites or leeches or anything like that. But this year I'm kind of trying to jump into, like I said, the spinnerbait. That one challenge pushed me. I had never fished spinnerbaits ever up until this point. And I think over that 6-day period, I ended up catching 32 smallies on that. And I only got to fish 4 days.
Wow.
And I think I ended up with my 3 biggest fish was 51.5 inches. So I learned a lot with those spinner baits. So whopper ploppers were new to me last year. Never really done those. Kind of going into the Cinco worms. That's what I've been doing here recently. Has been really working really good. Wacky rigging it. I don't do much on the. I used to do rooster tails a lot, but I just don't do those. I don't like treble hooks. Anything is a treble hook, I don't want. I like single hooks. It takes me too long to get the fish unhooked, and I'm always just trying to get them back in the water as quick as possible. And also, even on the whopper ploppers, I take the belly hooks off of my whopper ploppers just to keep from that double hook or damaging hooking their eyes or anything. So I don't need 6 hooks to catch something. I should be able to get it with the 1. So
I agree with that.
And you tried a Ned rig.
I do like Ned rig too. I like the Ned rig. That's of course, when the water gets really warm, definitely we'll have to switch over to the Ned rig, or winter time when their fish are just super lethargic. So yeah, my Texas, my Ned rig, my wacky rig. I think that's about the main 3. I've been wanting to try the chicken rig out this year just to try something different, just to push my knowledge to learn something different.
I haven't. What is the chicken rig?
Yeah, I was getting ready to say.
Chicken rig almost looks like a reverse Texas. So your hook is like, if your Cinco is like this, your hook actually will end up in the center, but it's almost like a reverse Texas. And I don't know what the benefit. I mean, it's like the hookup would be in the center of it. I'm just curious to fish it and try it and see what it is. So
I got
I don't know
you.
if it's gimmick or what. So
It all has to do with what you're confident with, too.
yeah.
There's
And,
lots.
if you fish something, that's something I learned this year. I think it's like everybody's got their go-to rigs that they fish. And I think you just get used to fishing something that you're comfortable that you catch fish on. And then you go out those days where maybe you don't catch fish and you just tell yourself, well, hey, the fish just aren't biting today. When realistically, if you would push yourself to try some different stuff, you may find out that those days you're not having buckets, that they would be biting on something else if you would push yourself out of those comfort zones. So
I think there's some truth to that.
All right, folks. Well, this will be the last call, Lyle, for #ZFG for some ZFG jigs. And then we'll start another one for the other ones, for the thumper jigs, right? Is that what they're called, Chad?
That is correct.
Oh, okay. Everybody's talking about Chad's shiny head, and Chad, it threw me for
I
a loop.
know. Poor Chad. Realistic fishing. Welcome to chat.
Hey, what's going on, bud? How you doing, Realistic?
I have sent him messages to get him to be a guest on our show. Maybe he's checking us out too.
I'd love to have him on here. That'd be so cool to finally talk to Alex.
Alex. I watch Alex a lot. I don't always comment on his stuff. But Alex, I love the bluegill fishing. I know you're a bass guy, but I love you see you catch them bluegills.
we live in the same town.
Forever.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I've seen Alex a couple times. Yep.
He's been at it a long time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yep.
I love the log where he fishes. I don't know how he stood the deer carcasses.
The deer. I went down there a couple times and I was like, "Woo, this thing is terrible."
Yeah, I don't know how he done that, but
Yeah.
hey, at least he was good enough to try to get him out of the water when
I know.
nobody else would. I got to give him a hand for that.
I know.
And
And two, I had to have been someone that, like I said, they were one of them was a small one. I guess I think they just got the back straps off of it.
yeah, that's too bad to see that kind of stuff happen. But I enjoy watching Alex. I watch him every time I see one of his videos come up, and I'm a subscriber, and I get notifications from him as I do you. So unless I'm gone, like last week where I was gone the whole week, I didn't get to see any of them. But I'm trying to catch up slowly as it is.
Oh, yeah, it's cool. I like seeing, like I said, I see all those areas, and I recognize where some of Alex's spots are. Like I said, I don't cross paths. I know he fishes a lot during the week. So, but I definitely, if I'm taking my dogs out, I'll see him every now and then. So
There's
it's nice to see him in our chat.
There's another angler that's all about keeping his area clean, whether it's himself or getting
Yep.
up.
That's correct. He picks
Yep.
up after people all the time. God
Oh,
bless
no.
him for that. Um, it's just I just can't believe that people can't clean up after themselves. It's just hard to believe.
Yeah. It's like I said, I would be curious. Like I said, that's when I started thinking the other day. I was like, I can't believe it's almost, like I said, I know it's 6 times I've taken at least a 30-gallon trash bag out. And like I said, I'm going out, my pocket's full every time, you know.
Yeah, there's no reason for that. No
Yeah.
reason for it. Let's spin her, Mark. What do you say?
Let her rip, Tater Chip. There we go. Tackle box.
Right.
Congratulations.
Nice.
Mike, if you'll send me your shipping address after the show, you can either message me on Messenger at Panfish Nation, or you can send me an email at lyle@panfishnation.at gmail.com. Either way will get to me. I'll be happy to ship that stuff right out to you. And thanks so much for watching Panfish Nation.
So, Lyle, do we just want to draw again using the same hashtag that's in there, or do we want to enter in a new one?
However you want to do it makes no difference to me.
I think the people in chat would be happy to see that they're already entered. So just let me know, and we'll draw the second ones for the
Okay, these are for the thumper jigs. So
here we go. Everybody's on bated breath.
Yeah. No whammies. No whammies.
Parker.
Jeff Barker. You know, he made that R capitalized just for me because I've been calling him Jeff Baker forever. I apologize.
Jeff, just get a hold of me same way, either through Lyle Panfish Nation at gmail.com or through Messenger at Panfish Nation. I'll get these babies shipped out to you tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for participating in our show and watching Panfish Nation. We appreciate it. I would like to announce that we are at 873 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed, we would appreciate if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. We got 58 tonight likes. I know that there's had to be at least 58 people or more that got benefit out of what Trey had to say. And Trey, it's always a pleasure for us to have you on Panfish Nation.
You guys appreciate it.
All the stuff that you do, like cleaning up after others in the water and doing things like that. It's important to us to see guys like you have YouTube channels so you can instill what you're doing with other people. So maybe the next time they go out, they'll pick up somebody else.
You know what else, Lyle? He's entertaining while he does all that.
He is. He's funny.
And you hope you don't rub people wrong on it. So I actually was thinking about doing a video like, can I distinguish who's leaving the trash? And it was like, you know, this is Bobby Billy Redneck, and then this is my Mexican crew, and then
We
this
would never.
is drinking the White Claw. It's like, you think that would rub people wrong?
You know, they don't care, I don't think.
I figured what I was going to do is tell them that the White Claw, that orange blood, like actually they were drinking a fuzzy navel, that marketing just made it sound flashy by calling it orange blood. You know, it's like, that's actually fuzzy navel. Probably tastes good. I figured I'd tick somebody off doing that. So.
Oh, man. Thanks, Matt, for putting up Trey's YouTube channel. If you guys haven't checked him out, please do so. I promise you're going to enjoy what he does. I watch every one of his videos. And like I say, I'm a subscriber. I get notified, so I go check them out. And we appreciate everything you do, Trey. And thanks so much for joining us tonight. And
I'm getting Tackle Box Mike your email for him right now, Lyle.
Okay, that'd be great. And keep up the good work, man. It's entertaining to watch you, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. And thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, you guys come in early trying to help me out, and I definitely appreciate it. This YouTube business is tough, and I couldn't do it with great people like yourselves helping out. And all the subscribers. It's like I said, that's to me is the payoff. It's the community that we've got here is an incredible community. So
It really is. Mark and I talked when we had you on Panfish Nation the very first time that we was in disbelief that your channel hadn't exploded. We talked about that before you was ever on the show, and we couldn't believe it then, and I still can't believe it today
I'm
that it
doing something
hasn't
wrong.
taken.
We'll get it figured out.
We'll get it figured out. That's exactly right. Thanks again, Trey. Mark, you got any closing statements?
Thank you very much, Trey. It's always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. I really do consider you a friend. And if I'm ever down that way, I definitely going to look you up. And same if you're ever up this way.
I will.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for watching Panfish Nation. We got Monday night Catfish Weekly, and right after Catfish Weekly, we have Mark with the Catfish and Crappie podcast. So be sure to tune in, and we'll be right here next week, right after Chad and the bait shop with Fred.
Bacon is life.
That's right. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.